All right, deep divers, ready to jump down the rabbit hole. Today, we are going to be tackling a concept that's well, let's just say it's a bit of a mind bender.
Definitely a topic that keeps people up at night.
Yeah, we're talking about the Matrix. But hold on. Before you picture Keanu Reeves dodging bullets, we're not focusing on the movie. We're going deeper.
Much deeper.
We're talking about the idea that our reality might be influenced by something else, a hidden structure, maybe even a code.
It's fascinating how this idea keeps popping up throughout history, right? Like across different cultures and time periods.
Totally. It's like humans have always had this hunch that there's more to reality than meets the eye.
Like there's this hidden layer of reality.
Yeah. And to explore this idea, we're going to be diving into some pretty fascinating material. We've got transcripts from 3 individuals who were hypnotized.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And under hypnosis, they independently explored the idea of a matrix.
Mm.
Now, before we go any further, I want to emphasize something super important. We're not here to say any of this is definitely true.
Right. We're approaching this with an open mind.
Exactly. Our goal is to explore these different perspectives, these different stories, and see what insights emerge. You know what I mean?
Piecing together a puzzle.
Exactly. So let's start with the most common thread that ran through all 3 of these hypnosis sessions. All 3 individuals described the matrix as a kind of controlling force.
A controlling force.
Yeah, like a program or an energy field,
Mm-hmm.
almost like a super sophisticated AI influencing our lives and experiences.
That's interesting. It kind of makes you think about simulation theory, right? And the idea that we might be living in a computer program.
It totally does.
Yeah.
Like ancient wisdom meets cutting-edge science fiction. Okay, let's dive into some specific stories from these hypnosis sessions. The first transcript we'll be looking at is from a woman named Tamara.
Okay. Tamara.
Now, she describes the Matrix as this multi-layered reality with multiple matrices existing simultaneously. So it's not just one big matrix controlling everything.
Oh, so there are like sub-matrices.
Exactly. She talks about matrices influencing everything from the planet itself down to individual humans, religions, cities, even families.
Whoa, okay, so like there's a matrix for the Earth, and then within that there's a matrix for each country, and then a matrix for each city, and so on.
That's how she describes it. It's like these nested matrices, each with its own set of rules and influences.
That's a really interesting way to look at it. It makes you think about the different systems we're part of, right? Like family dynamics or even the culture of the city you live in.
It totally does. It's like, are we just blindly following the programming of these mini matrices, or can we become aware of them and maybe even influence them?
Right. It makes you question how much control we actually have.
Big questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's another fascinating detail that Tamara brings up. She talks about how desires are processed by the matrix.
Process, like how does that work?
Well, she says the more we believe in the possibility of our desires manifesting, the more likely they are to materialize.
That sounds a lot like the law of attraction, right? The idea that our thoughts and beliefs can shape our reality.
Yeah, it's interesting how that concept keeps coming up. It makes you wonder if there's more to it than we realize.
Yeah. Definitely worth pondering. Okay, so who's next on our list of Matrix explorers?
Next up, we have Oleg. And he paints a picture that's, well, it's pretty mind-blowing.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
He describes seeing a massive tree.
A tree?
Yeah, a massive tree spanning multiple worlds, with each branch representing a different world, with its own unique matrix.
Whoa, hold on. So like a multiverse, with each universe having its own matrix.
That's what he describes.
Yeah.
And all these worlds are connected by a central axis, suggesting this profound interconnectedness between seemingly separate realities.
That's a powerful image. And it actually aligns with some scientific theories about the multiverse, right? Like the idea that there might be countless parallel universes existing alongside our own.
Exactly. It's like our actions in this reality could have ripple effects across other dimensions.
Whoa, that's a lot of responsibility to think about.
I know, right? Makes you really consider the weight of your choices.
Yeah. So besides the tree imagery, what else stood out to you from Oleg's account?
Well, he mentions specific symbols that he associates with the Matrix. He talks about seeing spirals within spirals, shifting hieroglyphs.
Hieroglyphs, like ancient Egyptian writing.
Yeah. And get this, bird tracks.
Bird tracks. That's pretty random. What do you think those symbols could represent?
I honestly have no idea. But it's interesting how symbols keep popping up in these descriptions of the Matrix, right?
Yeah, it's like they're trying to communicate something to us through a language we don't fully understand.
Like a cosmic code we need to crack.
Maybe the symbols hold personal meaning for each individual, or maybe they represent something more universal. It's definitely something to ponder.
All right, ready for our final Matrix Explorer.
Hit me with it.
This is where things get really trippy. Tatiana drops this bombshell. The matrix is a multidimensional cube built from sacred geometry.
Whoa, okay, we're going full esoteric now.
Right. She even references complex systems like the Tree of Sephiroth and the Kabbalistic Tree of Life.
So we're talking ancient wisdom traditions here. It's fascinating how these ancient systems of knowledge seem to connect with these modern hypnotic explorations of the matrix,
Like they're all pointing toward the same underlying truth.
but from different angles.
Exactly. But what does it all mean? How does this sacred geometry stuff fit into the matrix picture?
Well, sacred geometry is all about the study of geometric patterns and shapes that are believed to hold spiritual significance right. It's based on the idea that there's a hidden order and structure to the universe, a kind of divine blueprint underlying everything we see and experience.
So it's like there's an intelligence behind the matrix, a level of complexity that we're only beginning to grasp.
It suggests that there's more to this matrix than just control and manipulation.
Oh.
There's also a sense of order, purpose, and maybe even beauty. These accounts are really making us question everything, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like our whole reality is being turned upside down.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've established that the matrix might be this controlling force, this hidden program. But the big question is, can we actually interact with it?
Can we influence it, or are we just stuck playing by its rules?
Right. Let's see what our hypnotic explorers have to say about that. Tamra, who, remember, described the matrix as this interconnected network of matrices. She believes that the matrix is constantly observing us, analyzing our actions, our thoughts, even our emotions, and then responding accordingly.
So it's like a giant feedback loop. Kind of creepy when you think about it.
It is kind of creepy, right?
Yeah.
And it makes you wonder if we really have free will or if our choices are being subtly manipulated.
Okay, so if the Matrix is watching us, how does it communicate with us? What's it trying to tell us?
Well, Tamara believes it communicates through codes and symbols, often appearing as synchronicities or recurring patterns in our lives.
Synchronicities, you mean like those weird coincidences that seem to have meaning but you can't really explain them?
Exactly. She specifically mentions seeing Arabic numerals, Latin symbols, and codes that look similar to computer programming.
It's like the Matrix is speaking a language we don't understand yet.
Right, like a secret code we need to crack.
So how do we learn this language? How do we figure out what these symbols mean?
Tamara doesn't give us a clear answer, unfortunately, but she does suggest that paying attention to our intuition can help us navigate the matrix more effectively.
Our intuition, so like our gut feelings.
Yeah, she believes that our subconscious mind might have a deeper understanding of these hidden patterns than our conscious mind.
That makes sense. Practices like meditation and dream analysis are all about tapping into the subconscious, right? Maybe those could help us decode the Matrix's messages.
Interesting. Okay, so let's shift gears and see what Oleg has to say about interacting with the matrix. He's the one who saw that massive tree spanning multiple worlds, remember?
Yeah, I remember that vivid imagery.
Well, he believes we can actually influence the matrix through our thoughts, beliefs, and actions.
Really? So we're not just passive observers.
That's what he suggests. He even uses a video game analogy, saying that we can change the course of the game by making different choices.
Okay, I like that analogy. So if we change our thoughts and beliefs, we can actually change the game.
It's a possibility. It ties into the idea of neuroplasticity, right?
Mm.
The brain's ability to rewire itself based on our experiences and thoughts.
So if we can change our internal landscape, maybe we can change the external reality of the Matrix, too.
Exactly. Oleg also talks about these things called matrix glitches.
Matrix glitches, what are those?
He describes them as moments where the matrix's programming seems to falter or break down.
So like errors in the code.
Yeah, and he believes these glitches can offer glimpses beyond the veil of illusion.
Like cracks in the Matrix.
Exactly. It's like those moments when you experience deja vu or have a precognitive dream.
Makes you wonder if those are just random occurrences or if they're signs that something's not quite right with the Matrix.
Right, like little hints that there's more to reality than we realize.
Okay, so we've got observation, intention, and now glitches. What about Tatiana? What's her take on interacting with the Matrix?
Well, she offers a more mystical perspective. She believes that we can access higher levels of consciousness and transcend the matrix's limitations through practices like meditation, prayer, and connecting with our spiritual essence.
So it's like we can hack the Matrix from the inside out.
Kind of. If we can raise our consciousness and expand our awareness, maybe we can see beyond the illusions of the matrix and perceive reality from a more expansive perspective.
That's a powerful idea. It suggests that we have more power than we realize.
Right. It's not just about being controlled by the matrix. It's about becoming conscious creators of our reality.
So we've got observation, intention, glitches, and transcendence as potential ways to interact with the Matrix. But what does it all mean? What's the takeaway for our listeners?
Well, these accounts don't give us definitive answers, but they do invite us to think differently about reality, to question our assumptions and consider the possibility that we might have more agency than we realize.
And maybe most importantly, they remind us that our thoughts, beliefs, and actions might have a greater impact than we think.
Right. If our thoughts and beliefs can actually influence the matrix, even in a small way, then becoming more conscious and intentional in our daily lives becomes even more crucial.
Absolutely. We're not just passive observers. We're active participants in shaping the reality of the Matrix.
All right, deep divers, we're in the final stretch of our matrix exploration. And I got to say, my mind is still spinning from all this.
It's a lot to digest, right? It's like we've stumbled into a hidden world and now we're trying to make sense of it all.
Exactly. So if this matrix concept is even remotely true, what does it mean for our everyday lives? How do we navigate this potential hidden reality?
Well, let's see what our hypnotized explorers have to say about the Matrix's influence on their lives and the world around them. Maybe they can shed some light on this.
Okay, so Tamra, who described the matrix as this interconnected web of matrices, she shared a pretty thought-provoking observation. She believes that negative emotions like fear, anger, and hatred actually feed the matrix.
Oh, wow. So like those emotions give it more power.
That's what she suggests. It's like they strengthen its hold on us, making it harder to break free from its influence.
That's a bit unnerving. It makes you think about the impact of our emotions on a much larger scale, right?
It does. It suggests that our individual emotional states could have a collective impact on the energetic landscape of the matrix.
So it's not just about personal well-being, but about the well-being of the Matrix itself.
Exactly. It's like we have a responsibility to manage our negative emotions, not just for our own sake, but for the sake of the whole system.
Okay, so if negative emotions feed the Matrix, what about positive emotions? Do those have an effect too?
According to Tamara, they do. She believes that love, compassion, and joy actually weaken the matrix's hold and create openings for positive change.
So basically spread love, not fear.
Something like that. It's about recognizing that our emotions have power and choosing to cultivate those that contribute to a more harmonious and balanced reality.
It makes you think about the power of collective consciousness, right? If enough people shift their emotional state, could that actually influence the Matrix on a larger scale?
It's a possibility worth exploring. Okay, so let's move on to Oleg. He emphasized the importance of making conscious choices and influencing the matrix through our actions. Does he have any advice on how to navigate this reality?
Well, he stresses the importance of becoming aware of our own programming, the unconscious beliefs and patterns that shape our perceptions and choices.
Oh, right. He talked about that video game analogy.
Exactly. He believes that questioning our assumptions, challenging limiting beliefs, and actively choosing new thoughts and behaviors can create a ripple effect influencing not only our own lives, but also the larger matrix.
So it's not just about positive thinking. It's about taking responsibility for our thoughts and actions and recognizing that we have the power to shape our reality.
It's about becoming conscious creators rather than passive consumers.
Okay, and finally, what about Tatiana, our sacred geometry enthusiast? Does she offer any guidance on navigating the matrix?
She emphasizes connecting with our intuition and inner guidance, believing that this innate wisdom can help us discern the true nature of reality beyond the illusions of the Matrix.
So it's like we have an internal compass that can guide us through this hidden world.
Exactly. She also believes that practices like meditation and prayer can strengthen this connection, allowing us to tap into a higher level of consciousness and gain a clearer perspective.
So we've got a lot of tools at our disposal. Observation, intention, managing our emotions, becoming aware of our programming, tapping into our intuition. It's like a whole toolkit for matrix navigation.
It is, and ultimately it comes down to choice. Do we choose to stay asleep and passively accept the reality presented to us? Or do we choose to awaken, question, explore, and actively participate in creating a reality that aligns with our values and aspirations?
Powerful questions. And I think after this deep dive, I'm feeling more inclined to choose the path of awakening, to see the world with fresh eyes, question my assumptions, and take responsibility for my thoughts, beliefs, and actions.
That's the spirit. Remember, even the smallest shift in consciousness can have a ripple effect, potentially influencing the entire system.
So to our fellow deep divers out there, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep choosing to awaken. Who knows what we might discover together?
Until next time.